going on, yo? This holiday edition. Come on in the room, come on in the building. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all got some extra sleep. Ready to get in it, ready to go. Hope you are ready to get in it, ready to go this morning. Come on in, wake somebody up, let somebody know, tag somebody, share it. Let's get it going. Most of you are off today. Wanted to give you a little more time. But nevertheless, we are in the building. So get your tea, get your coffee, get ready to hang out with me. What's going on, IG? I see you guys starting to get in here, starting to get in the building. First five, let's get in it. First five on in this platform. Larissa Sanders, number one in today in the waiting room. First to park the car, number one. Number two is Miss Valerie Benjamin, second to park the car into our lot this morning. Number three in is Lady Ernestine Long. God bless you. This morning, Miss Tina Dry. God bless you. Number four in. Hey, fam. Thank you for that. Please appreciate you. And Miss Talia Hopkins. God bless you. Number five in today. Rounding out the top five. We thank God for you guys. Let's look at IG. IG is still coming in. But we got my crew in. The Quandria is in, number one in today. Miss Val, number two in on IG today. Miss Trinice, number three in. And Thea, number four in. Lady of Distinction. Miss Sohana, God bless you. I thought I saw Ghana in there as well. Maybe not, but God bless you all. God bless you all today. As we keep the train rolling, even on this holiday morning. I know many are still taking advantage of their sleep in. Wake up, wake up, get this momentum. And then if you need to lay back down before you cook your little cookout food, you can do that as well. Let's get this roll call done. Let's see. Adama, God bless you this morning. Latoya, Wilson, God bless you. DeAndre, God bless you this morning. Shinway, God bless you. Teresa McCoy, God bless you. Rufus Hobson III, God bless you. Tramika Taylor, good day to you. Joanne Russell, God bless you. Joy Miller, good morning. Carol Hines Williams, good morning. Deb Holmes, good morning to you. Did I say Shinway? I think I did already speak to you, Shinway, but good morning if I haven't. Ron Overton, good morning to you. Shanidra Talford, good morning to you. Dama says, I thought it was me. We at the beach. Wow, okay. Thank you for saying something. I was moving around saying, okay. Well, have fun at the beach. I don't know if you was talking to me, but have fun at the beach. I know a lot of y'all are vacating or relaxing. Miss Darlene Granford, God bless you. Miss Rosa Collins, good morning to you. Yvette Gary, good morning to you. Bishop Alfred Long, good morning to you. Miss Ramey. JL, good morning to you. Mr. Rufus, Cheryl Meredith, God bless you. God bless you this morning. So let's go, guys. God bless you. I'm gonna roll with what I got, and we're gonna do what we do. And some may catch us on the replay. That's fine. Rana, God bless you. This morning. This morning, God bless you. So let's get into this this conversation today. Let's get into this conversation today. Miss Gloria, God bless you. God bless you this morning. We're still talking about the 10 things or 10 areas where we will be tested. We're still talking about the 10 areas we will be tested. Lex, good morning to you. And there are some areas in our life, postures. That's a great way of saying it. I believe these are the 10 postures that might be that have to be in check. You know what I'm saying. And last week we talked about 5 of those postures that have to be in check to make sure that we are progressing to a way that God can get us to full maturity. And so today we're going to talk about the 6th one. This whole week, we got another week of just making sure that we are prepared for what God is doing in our life, what he wants to do in you, how he wants to move you to a certain level. And I know, just like me, you know, when you've been hearing about it and talking about a subject like this, you're going to be getting tested in those areas at the same time. But I just believe that you are prepared. You're going to be prepared. God is going to do amazing things through your ability to sustain, if I can say that, to kind of sustain what is happening with you and what God is doing in you. And so that's what we're going to deal with today. Okay, Father, give us the space, give us the capacity, give us the room to hear, to receive, to embrace what it is that you have for us. And we thank you in advance for the growth that's going to come forth out of this time. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Shanika, good morning to you, family. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. So let's go with our foundation. For those of you who are new to Morning Momentum, I always want to give this plug. For those of you who are new to Morning Momentum, for those of you who are just sweeping through, watching, this is a daily platform in which we take 21 days to deal with a certain topic. We learn new skills. We get rid of bad habits, and we get ourselves to a place where God can ultimately be pleased. All right. So if this is a platform that seems like it is going to be interesting for you, chances are it will be great for somebody you love. And so do me a favor, share it, tag it, invite somebody in to receive what has been a blessing to you. Okay, so we've been wrapping these series of tests around James. We've been wrapping them around James 1, verses 1 and 2. And we're going to continue to do that today. I'm just going to paraphrase some stuff. I'm not going to go through all of the opening that we've had for the last week, but I want us to make sure that we're all starting from the same reference point. The Amplified version of the Bible says it like this, James 1 and 2, consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials. Be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance, leading to spiritual maturity and inner peace. And let endurance have its perfect result and do a thorough work, so that you may be perfect, that means complete, and completely developed in your faith, lacking in nothing. Verse 4 is going to be very important to us today. It says, and let endurance have its perfect result, and do a thorough work so that you may be perfect and completely developed. In the Message Bible, it says, consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. And you know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Don't try to rush. Don't try to push it. Don't try to force it. But let it do its work so that you become mature and well-developed, not deficient in any way. I said verse 4 is very important. Hey, Victoria, because this morning we're going to talk about a test that it's just Z, God bless you. We're going to talk about a test this morning that all of us is probably, need some help in embracing more, but it's absolutely on the road to purpose. There is no way, in my opinion, that you can get to where God needs you to be, has designed for you to be, has orchestrated for your life without driving down the road of this test. This is going to challenge all of us. It's still challenging some of us. It is the main highway, though. For those of you who are in North Carolina, it is literally 85 or Highway 40. It's not a side road, right? And in the main highway, at some point you got to get on the highway. There's only so much. It's only so many cities or many places of the state you can touch without getting on the main highway. There are some back roads that'll lead you to some stuff. Latanya, good morning to you. Girl, I thought about you this morning. After this call was over, I was like, I'm going to check. I'm about to put an APB out. So good seeing your name. Goes so good seeing your name. I just get used to certain people, and y'all become family. Which you ain't just become family, but I feel better when I see certain names. love you guys. And so, hey, Eb, I see you on. Hey, Angel. And so there's certain roads that you can maybe touch other small towns or other side roads. I'm gonna get there, but I'm building. So, but if you're going to get to certain cities, certain places, the big cities, big places, you got to get on the main highway. And what we're going to talk about today is the main highway to success. It is the main highway to development. It is the main highway to maturity. It is simply the main highway. And we're going to talk about today the patience test. The patience test. The main highway, First Lady, Boo, it leads us to many great places. And a lot of y'all, I ain't talking about you if you may be on the call, but some people don't like driving on the highway. They good. Woo, I can't get on the highway. It's too. But and sometimes if you're going to get out of state, if you're going to go and explore, if you're going to go to places you've never been before, you've got to get on the main highway. The same way with patience in our life. If you're going to explore new opportunities, if God is going to show you new avenues and new destinations, we got to simply learn how to wait. We've got to really handle patience properly. That's why the Bible says in verse 4, let patience have her perfect work, because it produces something. It has a womb. It develops us. It gets us to a place. Hey, Mike, it gets us to a place where we are simply trained to reel ourselves back in. That's what patience is. It's experiencing things that's trying to get you unraveled. And it's the ability to get yourself back together. Let me look at some scripture. This was so good, I had to put it in 3 separate translations. This was so good, I had to put it in 3 separate translations. Yeah, Lena, we started a little late, with the holiday. So we didn't start till 8 o'clock. Oh, we started a little late. Looks like I'm right on time. You're right on time. We started at 8 today. So check this out. Isaiah 40:27 says this: why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, that my way is hidden from the Lord? In other words, the Lord is asking Jacob, he says, why do you say that my way must be hidden from the Lord? That he's speaking to Jacob's frustration. Jacob is in a posture where he's saying, who I am and where I am must be hidden to God, because he ain't doing nothing about what's going on in my life. I must be blind to him. He must can't see where I got stuck at. That sounds like some of us, don't it? He must be oblivious to what my situation is. He must don't even care about where I'm at. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Lena, I'm sorry. He must don't understand what's going on with me. Hey, Tip. But he says, why do you say that, Jacob? Why do you say my way is hidden from the Lord and my just claim? In other words, my petition that I'm just for asking, like that's the right thing for God to do. Like I got something before God that should have been handled by now, and I got a right to worry about what's going on. That's the mood, that's the posture that he's in. He says, why do you say that your way is hidden from the Lord and that my just claim is passed over by my God? Then God says to him, have you not known? Have you not heard? Lord, have mercy. That's a sipping moment right there. The everlasting God, the creator, the Lord of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. In other words, ain't nothing hidden from me. Don't nothing get past me. I never sleep over stuff. I never doze off and miss something that was a petition of my people. He says, he never faints nor is weary. Have you not heard that your everlasting God is understanding? His understanding is unsearchable. In other words, you thought I missed it. You thought I'm delayed. You thought your just claim has been passed over. You thought your way has been hidden from me. You thought I didn't understand where you are and what I was doing with you and exactly where you placed. He says, did you not hear that my understanding is unsearchable? There's no way you can figure it out. Then he goes on to say in verse 29, I love this. This same God that you should have heard about, guess what? He says, he gives power to the weak. In other words, I can't even empower you until you're weak enough to qualify. That's a sipping moment. He says he gives power to the weak and to those who have no strength or no might, he increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary. In other words, even, I don't care how strong you are, there's a time where we will, without God, get weary, get tired, start to faint. He says, and the young men shall utterly fall. He says, but those who wait, those who make the decision to wait on the Lord, listen to me, I don't ever want you to miss this, shall renew their strength. Let's roll it back. Let's roll back the tape. Let's roll back the tape. Rufus, I don't want y'all to miss this. The Quandra, you can't miss it. Miss Gloria, you can't miss this. The verse before that, he says, I give power to the weak. I'll strengthen the youth. I'll strengthen those who gets weary in their function. He says, but if somebody makes the decision to wait on me, they shall renew their own strength. That renewal ain't going to come from God. You're going to self-strengthen or renew your own self by your decision to posture yourself to wait. He says, I give strength to the other folk, but those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Waiting causes something to hit you that you can control with your decision to be patient. Everybody else is rushing, then you make the decision, I'm going to wait on God. Y'all got me? Listen to this in the in the NLT. It says, "Oh, Jacob, how can you say that the Lord does not see your troubles?" Just put your name in it. "Oh, Bradley, how can you say that the Lord doesn't see your troubles?" "Oh, Ronna, how can you see that the Lord doesn't see your troubles?" "Oh, Mike, how can you say that the Lord doesn't see your troubles?" I'm just putting y'all's name in this thing. That's what he's saying to Jacob. He says, "Oh, Israel, how can you say God ignores your rights?" In other words, Tina, he's saying, why do you think that I'm such a God that I don't see what's justly yours and belongs to you and what I should do in your life? I see. He says, how can you say that I don't see your troubles and I ignore your rights? Have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all earth. He never grows weak or weary. No one can measure the depths of his understanding. He gives power to the weak and strengthens the powerless. Even the youth may become weak and tired, and young men will fall into exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength, will discover new strength. They will soar high on wings as eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. I got one more translation, and then we're going to get into this. Because I want y'all to get this and get this and get this. I want y'all to hear it and hear it and hear it. I want you to see it and see it and see it. I want you to understand and understand and understand that God is not asleep. He's not forgotten. You didn't slip through the cracks. Your process is not one that got on the back burner. He didn't miss your petition. He didn't hear your cry. He didn't ignore your cry. He heard it. He knows. He understands. But he still has a timing that is divine. There is still something called the divine timing of God that he's still going to follow. Listen to me. Why would you ever complain? It's getting real personal now in the Message Bible. It says, why would you ever complain, O Jacob, or whine? We don't do that, do we? Israel saying, God has lost track of me. Ooh, this is helping somebody right here. It might be helping just me. I might just be, whether it's your age, whether it's your decisions, whether it's your frustration in your stagnation, whether it's, your trauma that's kept you in a stuck place for too long. I don't know what your situation is, but here's what God is saying to Jacob, and I'm saying I believe he's speaking to this to somebody. Why would you ever complain, or why would you ever whine, or why would you ever say, God, you have lost track of me? He doesn't care what happens to me. God said, why would you ever say that about me? Don't you know anything? God Don't you know anything? Haven't you been listening? God doesn't come and go. In other words, he's saying in the Message Bible, he's not wishy-washy. He's not come and go. He's not in and out. God lasts. He's creator of all you can see or imagine. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't pause to catch his breath. And he knows everything, inside and out. He energizes those who gets tired, gives fresh strength to dropouts. For even young men, young people tire and drop out, young folk in their prime stumble and fall. But those who wait upon the Lord get new strength. They spread their wings, they soar like eagles, they run and don't get tired, they walk and don't lag behind. We're talking about the patience test. He doesn't come and go, Rosa. Hey, Alan, I hope y'all are safe out there on the road, man. Patience. Patience is the ability to wait. The ability to wait. Or to do something despite difficulties, or to suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed. It is an ability or a willingness, I like the word willingness, to suppress restlessness or annoyance when confronted with delay. It is not just our ability to wait, but it's our posture to wait. Some of us are waiting, but we're not in such a good mood while we're waiting. We're not very friendly while we're waiting. We're not loving while we're waiting. We're short-tempered while we're waiting. We're short-fused. We're grumpy. So it's not just your decisions. Okay, I'll wait. But are you huffing and puffing the whole time you're waiting? Are you half of yourself while you're waiting? Are you hard to get along with while you're waiting? Have you isolated yourself while you're waiting? I'm just asking questions. We just talking. We just talking. Because our patience will be tested. And I want to help us today. There are some reasons why our patience must be tested. Ron says patience shows strength. Wow. Adama says I shut down, get quiet. Yeah. And see, that's why we got to have these kind of processing of testing, because we can't let our delays change our disposition. Because when our delays change our disposition, then what God needs to come out of us to use us has been stalled. Adam, knowing you and listening to you and experiencing your personality, one of your greatest attributes is your bubbly, positive, aggressive, forerunning mentality. So people are used to that bubbly personality, that quiet, that charisma. So when you shut down and get quiet because you're getting impatient, you are shutting off giving people the essence of who you are until God fixes what you need him to do. So it's almost like we putting him on notice that I ain't moving until you move. I ain't going to continue to move forward until you shift some stuff. That I'm going to put everything on pause until you turn it. Yeah. When we become well-rounded, we'll be able to feel, we'll be able to experience certain emotions. We'll be able to go through and move through those things personally. We have to, while still recognizing the world still needs who we are. They can coexist. So patience, and we talk about the patience test, our patience is just our ability to wait, our posture to wait. And one of the hardest things to do, I'll be the first to admit it, even coach, even pastor, even mentor, even apostle, sometimes battle with the necessity to wait. Impatience is not just a young people thing, because, you got young people, little toddlers, little kids, or your teenagers, they just want what they want. And they you tell them to clean their room and they take 2 weeks unless you get on them and threaten them. But when they ready to go somewhere, they get dressed and rush you. Come on. It's an immature thing, but it's not just a young person immature thing. It's an immature trait. It is not a young people thing. It is an everybody thing. Everybody in certain areas of our life, the things that we want to see happen, we tend to get restless about. I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home, but I'm still gonna take it to my grave. She still denies it. She think I overreact. But there is a different urgency in my wife when it's something that she's passionate about. When it's normal routine stuff we got to do, she'll get ready, but she's like, okay, don't rush me. Okay, now watch your tone. I'm coming. You can go, okay, go wait in the car, whatever you got to do, but you need to just chill. Don't push me. And I'd be like, you coming? What's going on? How you looking? You ready? Okay, now I said I'm getting ready. But boy, let it be something she passionate about. I know I'm gonna get in trouble. Let it be something she want to do. Going to see her family, or going to see something, or trying to get somewhere that she's excited about. And okay, now we need to be having my son. No. Okay, come on, y'all. You ain't ready yet. What's going on? I be like, where's all that urgency when there's something I want to do? Because all of us, and I'm probably the same way to her, when there's something that I'm really geeked about, really excited about, all of us have a different level of urgency of response when it's something that's personal to us. Come on. Many of us feel, if you make me wait, you're limiting my ability to be successful. A lot of us have issues with waiting because it means allowing other people to control our time in a way that makes us feel powerless. We don't simply feel in control. And I think that sense of powerlessness and lack of control really drives, I know this is a hard word, it's a strong word, our hatred of waiting. But some of us just simply hate to wait. Seeing other people's results. Let's be honest, we're flesh. Drives our discomfort in waiting. Our obsession. We are wired. Hear me. We are wired since we were kids. We have been wired to be successful, to get on our own, to make our own money, to buy our own stuff, to get married, get the house with the picket fence, to have the kids, have the cars, take the vacations. We have been instilled with this idea that life is supposed to go in a certain rhythm. And when our lives are outside of the bounds of those rhythms that we have deemed the rhythms of success, then we get all frustrated and all upset and depressed. Some of you have reached milestone birthdays, and instead of giving God glory that you've reached those milestone birthdays, they were some of the most depressing times of your life because you don't think you are accomplished enough at the age where you are. Why? Because we struggle in the area of waiting. Come on, you go to family function, they say, you ain't married yet? When you gonna find a man? Come on, somebody. And when you graduate from college, okay, you got a job lined up. I mean, everything in our life is supposed to happen at a certain point of time. We made all of these rules and we've wrote down all of these wishes, and we got all of this list that people have supposed to line up with, and our lives are supposed to line up with. And the reality is none of that was consulted with God about. Man, even pastoring. I'll never forget my first couple of years of pastoring. Oh, I done took over now. It's about to blow up. It's about to be this. It's about to be that. God has promised me. I had all these prophecies over my life. You know, God is going to use me, all of this other stuff. And I still believe that platforms, things are going to come, things are going to happen. But it's been 12 years in, and a lot of stuff that was prophesied to me in the beginning, I haven't seen yet. So I have to make sure that I don't get restless and get out of my posture, and my relationship with God doesn't change because it ain't happen for me as quick as quickly as it may happen for some other person. All of us, your test ain't my test, your struggle ain't my struggle, your thing ain't my thing, but all of us got to pass a patience test. I remember pastoring and being 5 years in, and I'm thinking in my head, I've been pastoring 12 years, I had in my head 5 years in, we're going to be out this space, we're going to be building, we're going to be busting out the seams. God gave me this big vision, and I still got it, and I'm still holding on to it. Guess what? And I still believe it. And it's still going to happen. I just set a timetable that was never in the mind of God. It was in my mind. And to say God has not used me to help develop and push and build people and build things and have an impact and influence on the society that I touch would be an insult to the goodness of God over my life. To look back over my 12 years and to see just because I don't have the mega church capacity numbers that God has not been a blessing to me would be an insult to his goodness. He has absolutely blown my mind. He's taken care of me. He has moved in such ways. He's impacted people because of my ministry that I never thought I would have the reach to touch. And I have to always reel myself back in and trust God and wait on his timing. And when we don't get this principle, the first thing somebody say when something ain't going right with us, what you ain't doing right. It must be something going on, because why they get it and you don't? That's what Job had. What happened to Job? That's what happened to Job. Remember Job? He's losing everything, and his friend says, okay, you need to repent. What'd you do wrong? You sinned somewhere. Something has happened. Why God is to keep doing this to you? And the whole time, while he's being decreased and everybody around him thinking he's wrong because God is destroying everything he loves, God had double in mind for him. Ooh, God had double in mind. God had an increase so bad, so big, he couldn't even see coming. His friends didn't even think he was worthy of. His wife didn't believe him anymore. She told him just to curse God and die. Everybody around him didn't even know that God was he's such a forerunner that he had this amazing comeback in store for him if he could ever get him through this test. Don't you let people get you to believe that you've disqualified yourself because you don't see the results that you had in your mind. Let me tell you something. God is still for you. God is still going to do everything he said he's going to do in your life. And you stay focused and you renew your own strength by continuing to wait on God. I'm speaking to somebody. I hear it. I hear it in my spirit. I think that sense of powerlessness and lack of control really drives our hatred for waiting. Seeing other people's results, Our obsession with results, success, and recognition. They're going to call my name one day. I can't wait when I get it. I can't wait when I'm in the paper. I can't wait when they talk about me, when they acknowledge it drives it. Listen to me. Our inability to wait has gotten us in loads of trouble. Some of y'all, if you look back over your life, you can attest to this, and I'm not talking about you right now, but we've gotten into things. We have gotten things we couldn't keep because we couldn't wait. We've gotten hurt because we couldn't wait. We have suffered unnecessarily because we had no patience. Instead of waiting on the right person, you just walked at anybody who gave you some attention. Instead of waiting for the right opportunity, you just jumped at the first opportunity. We have circled the same mountains because we would not wait on the right timing of God. Even when we look at the Bible, there are certain instances where we find people got themselves in trouble because they couldn't wait. You remember Abraham and Sarah? God promised this time next year, Sarah, you will be pregnant. You will have a son. You will name him Isaac. What happens? They couldn't even wait a year. Even though the God told them, in your old age, I'm not looking at the restriction. It will not restrict you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to return this time next year and you'll be pregnant. The angel of the Lord leaves. They start to doubt because they start looking at the circumstances of her age, of her body, of what's going on in a way. And so they try to manipulate the promise of God to do it in a way that is reasonable. And they produce a child outside of the word of the promise. And the consequence is that Ishmael, the promise that they produce with their insight and their intellect, instead of trusting God's infinite wisdom, Ishmael taunts Isaac. And he forces Abraham to have him sent away as a castaway so that he can protect what God has promised. What do you have to fight and beat off and remove and shield what God has promised because you've created so much other friction that is actually now attacking the thing that you should have been waiting on the whole time? You remember the Israelites when Moses goes up to Mount Sinai? He goes up to see God. He goes up to experience God. He's talking to God, getting the 10 Commandments, spending time, come on, in the cleft of the rock. And guess what? The people down low know he's going up to visit God, but they get impatient. They get tired of waiting. Say, Moses might not ever come back. Let's create our own government. Let's make our own gods. Lord, have mercy. They ask Aaron, and Aaron is the priest. Aaron is he's the birther of the Leviticus priesthood with him and Levi. And Aaron is the holy man of God. And he's waiting on God and waiting on Moses. But the pressure of the people who could not wait and had impatience caused him to do something that was not even in his heart. They asked Aaron to make them some gods so that we may worship them because my God taking too long. Ooh, Lord. Ooh. Come on, let's create other stuff that can bless us because the one we're supposed to be waiting on, he taking too long. Moses taking too long. They talking too long. We ain't got time to wait. We need to worship something. You know the result of that is a destruction of the 10 Commandments. Moses couldn't even give it to him. He had to break them. Pow. And the wrath of God threw a plague and over 3,000 dead. Simply because they couldn't wait. Remember Saul offering the sacrifice after being anointed king of Israel? And Samuel tells him, he says, listen, man, wait 7 days. Wait 7 days until he returns. I'm coming, Saul. Just wait on me and we'll go up and sacrifice together. God has assigned you to wait so that the prophet and the king can sacrifice together. Listen to me. He couldn't wait on him. Take it too long. I'm going to do this myself. I'm the king. What I got to wait for? God will bless me. And the result is God telling Saul that your kingship would not stand and that he was raising up another one to replace him. Wait. To wait, remember, is the ability, patience is the ability to wait. To wait means to stay where one is or delay action until a particular time or until something else happens. It means to remain in readiness for some purpose. It means to stay in place in expectation of, meaning I'm not just staying in a place, but I'm staying there in expectation of. It means to stay where one is delayed, but to wait until something happens. But it means to remain in readiness. And too often we understand waiting to mean we are wasting time or not taking charge of a situation. That's why we got a problem, because we think I'm just wasting time here. I got to do something. God ain't moving. Ain't nothing happening. I'm just going to sit here. Come on. I got to make something happen. But biblical waiting is not the absence of work. Biblical waiting is not idleness. Biblical waiting is an action verb indicating that you are aware through all of the senses of what is occurring around you and discerning the right time to do what's next. It is not an absence of doing something. It is continuing to do what you know to do until what's next breaks through. But continuing to do what you know to do with a posture of gratefulness, with a posture of energy, being grateful for where you are and what you have, even though God hadn't shifted it yet, I'm going to handle where I am right. And a lot of us never get to what's next because we don't handle what's now right. The reference to waiting in the Bible is found 116 times. Wait. The Hebrew word for wait is kovah, which means to wait actively with anticipation, hopefully watching for God to act. I'm waiting, but I'm waiting with a response and a anticipation that he's coming. Waiting is a spiritual discipline, hear me, because it allows each of us to more fully experience, hear me, who we are. And allows us to experience the world around us more richly. Listen to me. And it allows us to experience the presence of God more deeply. Let me say that again, because you can't miss those three. I know waiting is frustrating, but here's the spiritual principle and the discipline of waiting, and this is why it's so important. Waiting allows you to experience who you are more richly. To experience the world around you more vastly. And to experience the presence of God more deeply. Name is Joy. A lot of us, if you're serious, you didn't learn half the things you wouldn't learn half the things you learned if you didn't have to simply wait. It was the extra time that developed some things in you, that made you more resourceful, that made you dig deeper, that made you figure out who you were. It was the waiting time, the time that you cried out to God, when you asked him why, when you asked him how much longer, when you asked him why you still in it. Lord, what do I need to do? Lord, when is this going to move? When is this going to turn? When is this going to go greater? Come on, somebody. It's that depth that you now have with God, it was introduced through your desperation in your waiting period. And you got to a level with God that you now cherish. It kept you in your face. It kept you before him. It introduced fasting to you. It introduced prayer in a way. It introduced a focus because you was just trying to figure this thing out. It made you know people around you more because you saw who was really for you, who wasn't, who was encouraging you, who told you, like Job's friends, it must be you. You do something. You must have did something. And you had to hear those whispers, but you got a chance to see who was really on your side and who was really rocking with you for the long term. Your waiting, man, it was producing so much that sometimes we don't even recognize because we're so frustrated. We're so frustrated with having to be there that we no longer see the benefits and the blessings that are living there with you. I know there is a hard place. I know here is a hard place. But I can promise you, there's more good happening around you and for you and to you than the calamity that you feel. There's more strength that's being built. It's amazing how we can look at life and view weight as such a detriment. But you can go into a gym and look at a room full of weight and it'd be such an opportunity. I mean, pounds of struggle, pounds of stretching and endurance, machines that are designed to push you to your max and make you sweat and make you sore and bring pain. And we walk into it. We run to it. We sign up for it. Oh, Lord. We pay money to get hurt. And we pay money to push weight. Come on. We pay money, to sweat it out. But then we have to sweat some things out in life, and it seems like God has forgotten us. Why are we wired to walk into the weights, come on, somebody, in the natural, but we dodge the weight in the spirit? Matter of fact, if you go into a gym and they ain't got enough weights, you turn around and walk out. This ain't worth my time. It's not enough. It's not enough. They don't have heavy enough weights in here, or they don't have enough machines, or they don't have the things designed to work areas in my life that I want to see results in. We run to it, but as soon as we got to push some weight in life, as soon as God gives us some things that's going to test our endurance, as soon as we come into circumstances where we got to go to another level of focus, then all of a sudden he ain't with us. Waiting is not something that happened once. It is a way of life. It is a posture of the heart. You don't have to wait on something till the day you leave here. I don't care how much you get, there's still going to be what's next. And what's next is still going to become in the timing of God. This test is not something you get over and never have to deal with again. This is a way you got to posture yourself to be okay with how God says it needs to be. Waiting is humility and reverence in action. When we choose to wait upon God, we acknowledge that his thoughts and his ways is higher than ours, Isaiah 58:8. And that he works for the good of those who love him, Romans 8:28. So when we look at our text, I'm about to get y'all out of here. When we look at our text, we see the prophetic response to our anxious disposition, that the prophetic declaration and the prophetic declaration for those who lives their lives in a posture of waiting on God. The prophet says, or God says to the prophet, or God says through the prophet, why would you ever complain about or doubt God? Why would you ever say God has lost track of me? He's telling the people of Israel, he's telling, oh Israel, Jacob, he says, why would you ever say that? Because I'm hearing y'all prayers. That's what the prophet Isaiah is talking as God's mouthpiece. I'm hearing how y'all praying to me. I'm hearing the kind of stuff y'all saying. Why would you ever say I lost track of you? Why would you ever say I'm not with you? Why would you ever say he does not care what happens to me? Don't you know anything? Have you been listening? God doesn't come and go. In other words, I know exactly what I'm doing. Then he says, those who choose to wait will find new strength. In other words, what has been so exhausting will turn into being reviving. The fact that you had to wait caused you to get exhausted, but your decision to wait will cause you to get strong. Woo. You don't need nothing else to happen for you to revive and get more strength. You need to change how you see it. When your posture shifts, new strength shows up. I'm just going to run through these because I want you to get them. I'm not going to elaborate on them real hard because we've had a great conversation. I'm already over my time. But I need you to understand this. Number one, waiting exposes motives. That's why it's important to wait, to learn how to wait. That's why we got to go through the patience test, because waiting exposes our motives. Patience exposes our motives. You won't find out how much you want something until you have to wait for it. And most of our prayer life has always been about trying to achieve tangible results as soon as possible. God, do it. God, come. God, come quick. God, do it. But waiting, patience, exposes if we are chasing after all of God's blessings and the things he promised, or always chasing after God himself. See, if I can wait on God, that means it's always been about God. But if I'm impatient waiting on God, that means I'm only serving God because I want the stuff that God can bring. Ooh, do I have any coffee left? And sometimes God got to wait and vet and wait you out and vet through some stuff to see, do you want me or do you want my stuff? Are you praying to me because you just want your new boo? You just praying to me because you need more money? Are you praying to me because you just want to be successful? Are you praying to me because you just want to see this business? Or will you serve me no matter where I place you? You just being faithful so I can heal you? Or can I count on you even when you're still limping? And only thing that can really separate the two is time. Because when it ain't cool to serve God no more, when it ain't lucrative to serve God no more, when it ain't worth my time to be faithful no more, when this is kind of like a waste of time because I've been doing this and ain't nothing happened for me, so I'm about to go out here and do me. Oh, it was about doing you from the beginning, boo. God just said, okay, we got it. There was a separator. Go ahead and do it. When you're ready, I'll be waiting. Waiting forces us to answer the question, is God really enough for me? Some of y'all in your life, God forces you to ask the question, is God really enough? If he's really enough, then it don't matter where your placement is. Is he really enough? Right? David says in Psalm 63:5, my soul will be satisfied with you. Satisfied. Satisfied with you. When we're satisfied with him, there's a song. I will be satisfied with you. I will be satisfied with you. That means apart from the stuff you work out, apart from the stuff you make happen, apart from the stuff that we see go our way, All I got is you, and I'm satisfied. I'm still satisfied. God has promised his presence. We must get to the place where all we need is the company of God himself. Okay? Is he all we need? Number two, waiting examines our trust in God. It examines it. It puts it through an examination. It puts it through a test. Because if we do not trust God, then we will get bitter. If we don't trust God, we will either believe his love or we'll doubt it. Let me tell you something. And this is the ultimate test. Waiting forces us to make an important decision of how we will relate to the Lord. It forces us. You are, oh Lord, some of y'all need to get ready to get your sipping stuff on. Here's the Lord told me, we are not qualified to say, I trust you, if you hadn't had to wait on him. We're not even qualified to say we trust you if we didn't have to wait. Number three, waiting produces strength. As I mentioned earlier, that waiting allows each of us to more fully experience who we are. You will be better off because you didn't get what you wanted when you wanted it. You don't think so now, but hindsight will be 20/20. Endurance is everything. It reveals, some of y'all need to embrace this one. Endurance reveals untapped potential. It develops a deeper relationship and knowledge of God that would not have been realized without our desperation from our weariness. Ooh, this is good. I hope y'all. Here's what I learned from my valley experience. Here's what I learned from my wilderness experience. Here's what I learned when I learned patience. And some of y'all are learning this or need to learn this if you ever had to go without. Going without teaches us two things: how to appreciate it when you get it, and how to not be controlled by what you desire. Everybody that learns how to be successful, they are not too high when they get blessings because they expect it. And they've been from a place where they didn't have it, so they appreciate it. And the thing that God blesses them with is not strong enough to control them, because they learned who was really in control in their valley. Ooh. Could it be that God is taking money from you in this season because he's trying to take it from being your God? Could it be that God is delaying your success because he's trying to remove it from being your God? Could it be he's not giving you what you circled because he knows you would lose everything that you are if you ever get that posture or that placement or that position or that money or that control or that power, because you hadn't learned how to put him in first position first? One thing we learn when we don't have a lot is that we learn to get close to him and recognize he's all we need. That way, when he gives us everything back, they can fit in their rightful place. Ooh, this is a question. Y'all listening to me? Y'all who learning patience and endurance, learning waiting. Can I ask you a question? Are you growing without it? Are you still getting better even though it ain't happened yet? That's a sign. Because if you just delay who you are and shut down until you get it, then you ain't learned the lesson yet. God wants to see growth come out of you even though that prayer hadn't been answered yet. That place hadn't come to pass yet. That promotion hasn't taken place yet. But you're still growing. Last thing, I'm done. Waiting produces the best part. The best part of you, the best part of the blessing, the best part of life. You will never experience your best self until you learn how to wait. Even people that have experienced some success, if they would have just waited on the timing of God, what they've experienced would have been 3 times as much as what it was. Because what waiting does is it produces maturity. And when anything is at its full maturity, it is at its best. You don't want to eat nothing that's not ripe. You shouldn't want to eat a lot of stuff that's not cooked. You don't want to birth anything that's premature. God wants you to have the best of everything. He wants you and your blessing fully complete, fully produced. He wants you to live the max life. That only happens when things takes the time and has the time to fully mature. I'm telling us, we've got to learn patience. We got to learn how to wait. God hadn't lost track of us. He has not forgotten us. He knows all. He has understanding about all. He is the creator of all. Let's wait on him. That's the word for today. Hopefully you received something. Hopefully you grew in this teaching today. Thank you for your patience. Some of you may be seeing this on the replay. We thank God for you. I know the time was a little different today. Wanted to give way a little bit to, of course, I know some of y'all sleeping in and taking advantage of not having to get up early. So anyway, let's share this. Let's go back and get the replay. Let's get blessed. We need patience, guys. Patience is a test you cannot avoid. We give God praise for it. Listen, the fact that you're watching me, the fact that you're listening to me, it's a sign that God is not done with you yet. The fact that he gave you another day means he gave you brand new mercy. Take what he gave you and go win what's in front of you. Don't let anything today stop you from winning it. Winners win. That's who you are. Go be who you are. Do what you do. Go win your day. We'll see you in the morning. Peace. Back at our regular time.